Alright, today's class guide we're going to be focusing on Croak, the dual-wielding poison user that likes to assassinate his foes from the shadows. Alright, the first skill we're going to be talking about is Blade Fury. This is your auto attack, does about 8 damage per swing. You can hold down the left click to continuously fire. Blade Fury gets attack speed bonus after doing a frog leap. It also gets an attack speed bonus after using camouflage. Now let's talk about your right click. It's an AoE ground target skill. It does an initial 6 damage and then ticks for an additional 8 damage on your opponent. For every point of damage it deals, it heals you for equal amount. This means this is your sustain skill and you want to try to keep it active as much as possible to help keep your health up. Alright, now let's talk about your space. The space is called Frog Leap, which can be used to dodge enemy attacks, but it can also be used offensively, as it does 16 damage to whoever's in front of you when you cast it. You can also recast it for a second jump. After using Frog Leap, it boosts the attack speed of your Blade Fury. One more thing I want to point out about Frog Leap is you can use it to be a slippery foe, as you can jump over most walls, allowing you to get a lot of hectic. You can even jump over a wall and then stealth, really throwing your opponents off. You can play a lot of mind games with this character. About your Q is called Camouflage. When you camouflage, you gain a 10% movement speed and it makes your Blade Fury have a stun effect. Now it also increases the attack speed of your Blade Fury. Initially you want to stun, come up and stealth your opponent and start hitting them to maximize the damage that you deal. Alright, now let's talk about your E skill, Noxious Lunge. Noxious Lunge is a dash forward. It can be used to dodge skills or position yourself or get yourself out of trouble. It also deals 10 damage if you go through your opponents. Alright, now let's talk about our ability, your Toxic Blades. It has a 15-second cooldown and it costs 1 energy to use. When you cast it, it buffs your Blade Fury, which is your left attack. It makes it do 2 additional damage and it heals you for the additional damage. It also inflicts Toxic, which does 8 damage over time, which also heals you for 8 damage over time. This adds to your sustainability and damage. Since it has Toxic, you want to try to hit as many different opponents as you can while it's going, to maximize how much you get healed. Alright, let's talk about Venomous Wind. Venomous Wind is a dash that deals 18 damage over 3 seconds, and then it deals an additional 38 damage as an AoE explosion on the opponents that were hit. So as an example,
Spatial delivery.
Now these two guys will explode, doing 38 damage to all those around him. This is your ultimate and it costs 5 energy to cast. Alright, now let's talk about your shift skills. The first shift skill you have is called Sludge Spit. It shows a cooldown with Toxic Muck of 6 seconds. Now this modifies your Toxic Muck into a straight line projectile that does 10 damage and applies Toxic. It also applies a debuff on your opponent that reduces their vision by 80%, essentially making them blind for the time being. You can cast this by holding down shift and right clicking, or by pressing the 1 on your keyboard. When your opponents are blind, they can no longer see you, so you can move out of range or attack their ally, or maybe even jump in to attack them. This is especially effective on ranged characters as they begin to shoot blindly. Okay, for your next shift modifier, it's called Deceit. It modifies Camouflage. You can cast this by holding down Shift Q or by pressing the 2 on your keyboard. When you enter Deceit, you gain 15% movement speed, which is a little faster than Camouflage. And then your next Blade Fury attack, which is your left click, that hits, incapacitates your opponents. Alright, after incapacitating an opponent, you then enter Camouflage. Incapacitated lasts for 3.5 seconds. As an example, we will now incapacitate a dummy, enter Camouflage, and then go stun the other one. As you can see, this can be extremely effective in 2s or 3s when you disable one opponent and then focus on the other opponent. Okay, and for your first battle ride, it's called Spit Spit Spit. What it does is it gives Toxic Muck one additional ability charge. This also means your Sludge Spit gains one additional ability charge. As an example, we're going to use Infinite Energy and no cooldown. Now you'll be able to shoot 2 of these rapidly, or you can do the modifier and shoot these. However, they do still cost energy to cast. You can also mix it up a little bit. Okay, for your second battle ride, it's called Noxious Reaction. Now, what Noxious Reaction does is it modifies your Noxious Lunge, which consumes Toxic, dealing the remaining Toxic damage instantly and inflicting a 1.2 second root. This is particularly interesting as you can apply Toxic in various different ways, including your blades. Then when you dash through, it consumes the 8 damage Toxic instantly, dealing 8 damage and healing you for that. You can also apply it through your spit. One of the things that makes this skill particularly handy is the root though, as you can now do that and root people, especially range units, tying them down for combos. Alright, next we have Venomous Strike, which modifies your Blade Fury attacks made from camouflage to inflict a venom. Now this venom will explode for 10 damage area effect after 2 seconds. So if you see here, you can see the little green lines underneath the target. After 2 seconds they will explode, and it does do an AoE damage, so it will hit opponents nearby. Alright, and if you remember that Toxic kills you for the 8 damage that it deals, Mending Toxic makes that even more effective as it now heals you for 16 instead of 8. However, this does not increase the Toxic damage at all. It still will only do 8 damage. So it won't be able to be comboed with Toxic Lunge or anything like that to do additional damage. It will simply heal you for 16 instead of the 8. Alright, and for the second battle rite of round 2 is called Twin Strikes. Frog Leap causes your next 2 Blade Fury attacks to deal 4 additional damage each. 1, 2, flip, 1, 2. This adds an extra 8 damage if you pull off the combo right, and then you can recast and do another 8 damage. Last battle rite of round 2 is called Cut to the Chase. This increases your camouflage movement speed to 25% from 10%. Now this definitely increases the movement speed for camouflage. However, I'm not entirely sure if it increases the movement speed for descent. It feels a little bit faster to me, but there's no real way to tell. Okay, and for your first battle rite of round 3, it's called Jungle Toad. Hits heal you for 14 health. It does exactly as it says, and it just means that when you strike after doing your Frog Leap, it'll heal you for 14 health. Essentially though, if you land both of them, you can heal for 28 health, which is quite a bit of sustain. Alright, and the second battle rite of round 3 is called Trickery, and this is for all you rogues out there, as this makes your Noxious Lunge hits reduce the cooldown and camouflage by 2 seconds. So, we'll just go ahead and stealth real quick, and then land some hits, and then bam, you just got 6 seconds off of your cooldown. Although you don't always hit 3 opponents, otherwise it's normally just probably going to be 2. But still get your stealth up more, which means more DPS, more stuns, and you know. Okay, and for your third round 3 battle rite is called Frog Frenzy. Toxic Blades, which is your R, increases the attack speed of your next 6 Blade Fury swings. Now something I noticed while playing this is that as you see there's a little 4 by my name up above. That's how many increased attack speed swings I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, it fills up when I do this. But now it'll also fill up if I do this, as I now have 6. And they will carry on even if I don't use them right away. However, it doesn't seem like I can stack them up. Alright, and for your first battle rite of round 4, it's called Recuperate, which increases healing received by 15%. Now this is 15% from all sources. That means if your ally is a healer, or any of your various ways to heal. This is particularly a nice talent since this guy has a lot of ways to heal himself. And for the second battle rite of round 4 is called Slayer. You deal an additional 20% increased damage to targets below 30% health. Meow. However, I don't think this works on target dummies. Alright, and for your final talent of round 4, it's called Crippling Poison. Your toxin reduces the movement speed of your opponents by 12%. So as you can see, it slows down the target dummy just a little bit. Okay, and for your battle rite of round 5, you have 2 options, and they both modify your ultimate ability. The first is Leeching Venom, which heals you for 16 health when the venom explodes. The second option is Momentum. After using Venomous Wind, your movement speed is increased by 30% for 4 seconds.
Taste this.
As you can see here, I move a lot faster. Or you can use it to heal yourself on
Above you.
each explosion, which could be a lot of health. Crippling Poison. Your toxin reduces the movement speed of your opponents by 12%. So as you can see, it slows down the target dummy just a little bit. Okay, just some ideas for different talents. You could go more of a sustained build, in which case you'll take Spit Spit Spit, Mending Toxic, Jungle Toad, and Recuperate, which is straight down the middle. All of these will give you a ton of sustain, making this guy extremely difficult to kill. Another style of talents that I like to go is more of an aggressive DPS style. And for that I would take Noxious Reaction, followed by Twin Strikes, and then Trickery, and then Slayer to finish him off. However, this is just what I do and some of my opinions based on what talents I like to choose. Ultimately, you should choose your talents based on how the fight's going. Hopefully this guide video has brought some clarity to the class and helps you play him a little bit better. If you have any tips or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Also, let me know how you liked the video. And thank you for watching. Even after you use Swift Strike, you can still use the double jump, allowing greater mobility in the air. Hey, he's using parkour. He's got great mobility. Because he has great mobility, he can bypass choke points and get to objectives. His objectives and forces enemies